Good morning, everybody. I hope you are having a lovely day. It'll be lovely to get a little bit more sunshine, at least in Sunbury here anyway. I am going to be showing you a card from the Make It From Your Heart Volume 4, and this will be using the pretty pattern paper that you created yesterday. So has everybody got their coloured in finished homework? How horrible to be given homework. Never mind. I'm going to start by showing you which pattern it was. Okay, so in this folder, okay, we've got Everyday Life folders that will hold our Make It From Your Heart volumes. Okay, this one here at the moment is volume 3, which is pretty much all scrapbooking layouts. And the really good thing about these is that you can have a look and see how many photos you want to put on. You might have 5 photos that you want to put onto a double page spread, and by having a look in the index, you can go straight to 5 photos, 5 photos, 5 photos. So this is the pattern number 9. And it's on page 22. You probably can't see that really clearly. And we've got our page 22, 5 photos. Okay. However, we're going to start with a card first. So, pattern, wrong page. Pattern number 6. So pattern number 6 has got 3 pieces of cardstock or 3 pieces of paper. All right, you should have seen the pattern with the cutting instructions that I put onto my Facebook page. So not my group, my page. My page is Close to My Heart with Mez's Scrappers, and my group, which is a private group, and you do need to ask to join, that is Mez's Scrappers. Now, the dimensions that we were needing for a standard 5.5 by 4.25 card. Piece A, and I'll show you my piece A, which I've used julep. Okay, is 4.25 by 5.5. Piece B, which is this piece here, and it's been dovetailed, and it tells you that it's dovetailed. This is where I've used the patterned piece that we coloured, stamped and coloured, and instead of a piece of cardstock across the top here, which is 2.25 by half, the dovetail piece is 2.25 by 5. Now I did actually end up cutting it down a little bit shorter whilst I was dovetailing it, but I used our glitter shimmer trim. Okay, so I used the silver shimmer trim instead of a piece of cardstock. I just thought it gave it a little bit of sparkle, which you probably can't see too well in the camera at the moment. So that was the pattern. There's also a couple of different variations that they've used. No, these papers aren't available anymore, but that's okay. We've got plenty of other good papers, and I'm sure you've got plenty of others, and we created our own this time. Okay, let me just put that aside for one moment. Here's my finished piece. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting this. All right, I actually did 2 because I wanted to get my card pieces cut out, ready, so we can stick that down. Okay, I do have some stamping to do on it, so you've got any sort of sentiment that you want to use, you just go ahead and use it. All right, I've kept this as simple as I can. I'm going to put this to one side because this is what I'm going to be cutting anyway for the page layout. And again, I sent you through the pattern for that on my Facebook page. So it's got the sizes that you need. I'm going to put this to one side. Hello, Joanne, how are you? Are you ready to cut up your gorgeous butterfly page? I hope so. Too many of us buy beautiful paper. All right, you didn't buy this paper, you made it yourself. And then we just don't cut it because it's too pretty, but we bought them to use, you know? So use them. How gorgeous is it to see your cards being made with the paper that you've bought. How great is it to be sharing your scrapbooking albums with family and friends and yourself, going back over, using that beautiful paper that you loved so much, you loved enough to buy, and then others can see it as well and share the joy of looking at it. Anyway, so I've got, what I did too was back to the card. I actually cut another piece, which is a little bit smaller, okay? So this could be used as a background piece on your card as well, and then put something else on top. So there's all sorts of uses, okay? So I've got my card base, I've got my adhesive, and yeah, I did boo-boo. I stamped it on the wrong side. Actually, got to stamp first. Oh, glad I turned it over to do that. So I have 2 stamps here, and this is from the same stamp set that I've been using, okay, and this is our yesterday and today card making, okay, so I'm using that again today for the sentiment, and I'm going to just give my block a wipe because we don't want any little black smudges anywhere, and then I'm going to stamp as close to the bottom as I can because I don't want to impede into the dovetailed piece. And then I've got sympathy. So with heartfelt sympathy is what I decided to use. And then this card can go into my stash of cards. Hopefully, well, not nice to use these types of cards, is it? But at least it's there in your stash if you need to use it. And now I'm going to stamp sympathy as well onto my card. Okay, so with heartfelt sympathy, put that away. Now I can get my adhesive out, and I am just going to apply the adhesive. Now I try to apply the adhesive to the piece that's been stuck down, so always go with the smallest piece to apply your adhesive. This should be the same size as my card front, so it wouldn't have mattered, but if you put your adhesive onto the larger piece and you attach a smaller piece, you run the risk of having the adhesive in the wrong place. So I'm going to now stick this down, carefully lined up. So that's on. And then I'm just going to stick this down. You could 3D foam tape it if you want. So I'm going to take that, centre it. Now I'm going to centre it properly. So this is where our Versamat comes in really handy. It is a 12-inch by 12-inch square with quarter, half, 3/4 and whole inches marked. So this is 4 1/4 wide. So just between 2 and 2 1/4 is going to be approximately the halfway mark. So we're going to line it up just slightly off. Actually, sometimes what I do is move the card so it is more centered between 1/4 inch marks if necessary. And then I can come in and have a look at where the center of this would be. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, not quite. So I'm going to bring it back to here and stick that down. And hopefully that is square. Managed to get some adhesive on my card, that's all right, because I'll just apply a bit of bling there to cover that up. Okay. One simple card. Yes, the green is probably not quite right, but you get the idea. Okay, so that's that one done. All right. These Make It From Your Heart volume cards really do whip up some fast cards. Okay. No, I'm really not happy with that green, but I'll live with it for now. Okay. How are you doing? Are you cutting? Are you going to be sticking, or are you going to do it later? If you're on, let me know. Say hi. I can see Joanne is there. Are you keeping warm, Joanne? All right. Page layout. So the measurements that we need for this pattern, and I'm only going to actually put together the one page. I'm going to put the what I call the left-hand side page together now. All right. So I have already pre-cut my 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 photo mats, and I've used Julep for that. Okay. So I'm going to cut this. Now, this is what we call a directional pattern, and I need it to be cut across. Okay. The reason it's directional in my mind is because of the birds. If it was just the flowers, it probably wouldn't matter quite as much. But we don't want the birds upside down, which they are here. Or, well, we could have them dive bombing, I suppose. But to me, this is probably the best angle. Your sheet may not be what we call directional. Hello, Pauline. How are you? I hope you're doing really well. And if you missed the beginning of anything, then you can always go back and watch it later, because it will be posted up into my Facebook page. And it's also going to be put on YouTube. So I actually now have a YouTube channel called Mezzers Scrappers. Still working out how to get my link into my page or my group, but I'll figure it out eventually. So, the page layout. The page layout that I used is from volume 3 of Make It From Your Heart. I did post the cutting diagram on the page, and this shows you. So I'm going to be putting this side together. Okay, I haven't cut a title piece because I'm not too sure yet what I'm going to do. All right, but it will just show you the basics of putting together a pattern that has come from one of our volumes. All right, here's a couple of images, and even though they're exactly the same layout, they look very different when you start using different colours. All right, so this is the piece I'm going to be looking at here. It's only going to be the base page and a couple of pieces put down. But what I have done is more random stamping as a background. So I will show you that in just a moment. Okay, this is my random stamping. So I used 2nd and 3rd generation inking. All right, I'm going to quickly show you how to do that. So I'll put my Versamark mat back over for the foam. I used Julep. And here, what we do is we get a bit of scrap. Okay, so you want some scrap. We ink it up. Give it a little bit of a wipe around to make sure that you haven't got any ink on the corners. Stamp off once. Okay. Then the next time you use it, this is your 2nd generation, and there's your 3rd generation. Now this is coming out quite light, so you may not be able to see it terribly well. All right, and the lighting may be a bit iffy. Let me just see if I can raise my blind, because I did close it down a bit earlier. Let's see if that helps. Okay, so we have inking, ink it off. I always go, see now, can you see there's ink on that? We don't want ink on that because it could end up on the page. So you just make sure that you do it. So, 2nd generation, 3rd generation. And maybe you can see that very faint mark, and that one not quite so faint. So it's just random pattern. I used the Fleur de Lis from that same stamp set. Yesterday and today, card making. Card making? Yes, card making. Okay, so I've now finished with that. And now I'm going to cut. So this is a 12 by 12 sheet and I want 2.5 inches. So make sure you're turning it so that the direction that you want it to be on your page, okay, I want it across this way. So I need to cut here and it's 2.5 inches. So I line that up in my trimmer, give it a cut. I might just cut the second piece because I'll make the second page later. 1, 2. Okay. Now, I also need, sorry, I forgot to get my julep sheet out. I was actually distracted by a phone call, which is pretty easy for me to be distracted. So I want the julep, which has decided to go for a bit of a, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to use a julep strip. So the second piece of cardstock is 1/2 inch by 12. So it's going straight across the page. I love our trimmers because you can, if you've only got a little piece to cut off one side, you can come to the right hand side of the cutting blade to measure. And then if you've got a larger piece to cut, you come across this way, and if it's even bigger than 6 inches, you just flick the arm out to extend. Makes it quite easy to cut nice big pieces, and it tucks away and locks. Okay, so I am going to stick this piece down. And I'm just going to check because I think that they had it slightly lifted up. I tend not to follow a great deal of instructions. I sometimes go, yes, I will follow it exactly, and other times I don't. So sometimes I just put it down where I want to put it down. That was rather clever of me. I managed to put the page off. Okay, so they're actually putting it right at the bottom. So let's apply our adhesive. If I'm doing a card, I tend to put a lot more adhesive on than when I'm doing a page, mainly because the page is going to be put inside a page protector. So we don't want to waste our adhesive, we don't need to. On a card, however, it's not being protected in any way. So I've put that down, and now I'm going to put my zip strip down, and I'm going to use the light side. I want the light side up, so I apply the adhesive on the darker side. I just make sure the edges are done. Apply it along and make sure it's on the there. I line that up. Put my strip across. And then they're telling me that I need to put it a 3/4 inch up and 3/4 inch in from the right hand side for the first piece to go down. So I'm going to line this up. Our measurements actually extend past the 12-inch side so that you've got a ability to see exactly where you're sticking. And again, I want the light side showing, so I'm going to apply my adhesive here and 3/4 inch up. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to kind of guess 3/4 inch in. 1, 2, 3, about there I reckon. And I'm just going to stick that down, and I'm using this as a bit of a guide to make sure that it's relatively straight. There's number 1. And number 2, they're telling me 1/4 inch up, and of course in line. So that's approximately there. And I want number 3. And that's going to be 1/4 inch. So again, I'm just sort of eyeballing it and hoping for the best. Oops, sorry. Okay, and that's done. You could always add a piece for decoration if you wanted. Don't like that. So that's as simple as this layout gets. Okay, the right hand page has got another 4 photos mats using exactly the same size. You could put a journaling block in here if you want to. All right, there's also a journaling block or a title on the right hand side as well. If you've got any stamps that suit a title, you can stamp. And I don't know what I'm going to use this for, so I'm not going to put anything on it until I'm sure what I want it for. That's quite often the beauty of making your bases and having them ready to go when you've got something that you want to use it for, and then you can add the rest of your embellishments and any other words, phrases, whatever you want to put on, you can add them later. All right, you can add your bling when you're ready. So that is the layout using the patterned paper. And here we have the card using the patterned paper. I'm actually going to pull this off. I don't like it. And I will work out another colour. So I will do that. And I hope you had fun watching. I hope you're going to do the card with your pattern paper. I'd love to see a photo of your pattern paper up on the page in here, and I'd love to see a finished page layout here as well. That would be fantastic. If you're not sure how to post the photo into the actual page, Close to My Heart with Mrs. Scrappers, then feel free to send it through to me as a message and I will upload it. And yes, I normally don't put people's names, but I will be dobbing you in. Anyway, you have a great day, and I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to leave it a couple of days and I'll come up with another video of something to do. I do want to work out my online workshops. So I actually do have a question for anybody who's watching now or is watching the replay. And please let me know if you're watching the replay as well. All right, just say replay. If any of you are on or have used Zoom, ZOOM, okay, it best used on your laptop or your desktop or your iPad or your generic pad, because you need the viewing size. I want to start doing the workshops there. Okay, so if you're already on Zoom, let me know, and then we can take it from there. Until I can get that up and going the way I want it to, then I will start doing my workshops via Facebook, and then they will be uploaded to YouTube, and you can view them on YouTube as well. All right, if you find me on YouTube, go and check out the couple of videos that are there. I know you've probably seen them here, and maybe give it a like or a comment. I don't know how YouTube works, to be honest. I'm still learning. Maybe somebody can tell me. All right. Joanne, you've got Zoom and you've used it. Awesome. I might have to call on you for some advice. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Have a great day, everybody. I really would like to see your card and your page layout if you've done one or the other or both. And I'm sure everybody else would love to see them as well. All right, we're all in this together, and sharing is caring, so go ahead and share. All right, I will catch you later. Bye.